Understands that line between Division I and Division II talent is a very fine line. And as a coach who had quite a number of Division I transfers, I tell you that's exactly what it is.
And we're underway. Alex Melender gets the start today for the IU Indy Jaguars, and that doinked off of Sean Craig. And you see the toughness there, stingy defense of Deshaun Nelson.
You see it, trying to overplay past receivers. And, Melender had a tremendous game last time out. Starting to shoot the ball much better, starting to relax and understand what's going on.
Yeah, Melender is 14 assists, no turnovers. Not too shabby. There's an altered shot by Craig, one of the young captains on the team, the only non-senior captain. He brings it up.
Well, you see already, it's not going to be an easy thing to score, Jonathan. You're going to need to be open, need to be strong, need to be tough.
There's Jarvis Walker, who's all those things, and knocks down the J for our first points of the game.
Right on cue. And, he's open, tough, nice looking jump shot, perfect form. Good start for the Jags.
Running the point right now for Eastern Michigan, that's Christian Henry, who was described by his head coach Stan Heath as Chicago tough. He likes a lot of those guys from the Windy City. That one errant by Nelson, out of bounds, staying with the Eagles.
And I'm not sure if they mistimed it or it was just a bad pass, but I got that, you're looking at Jalen Billingsley, the ball was maybe an alley-oop to him, but off the glass, no harm done.
Quickly firing is Henry off the window. Zelinskis lobbing ahead Melender, and he tried to play it through contact, but the foul chased down by Craig. His first. Sean Craig, native of Sylvania, Ohio. He was a reserve playing for the University of Indianapolis, which, if you're new to the broadcast, is a different school than IU Indy. But he was a reserve at the University of Indianapolis, now starter at IU Indy. Look at that down the lane.
Oh, my. That got everybody's attention, did it not?
Man, you need to hide the children's eyes seeing that one.
Just a tremendous explosion at the rim.
Deshaun Nelson, a transfer from DePaul. Zelinskis trying to find room to shoot, gets up for Walker, little shy. Craig gets another rebound. He's been awesome so far this year rebounding, 10 plus every time. Walker contested, swatted away by Julian Lewis. And in transition is Jalen Terry.
Great help by Lewis on the drive by Walker. And to go back to the dunk, oh my goodness.
That time he took it way too deep. Here's Keenan Gardner into the corner. Walker, good.
It's the tempo the Jags like to play. They really, they're talking about first 8, last 8 is their mantra offensively. Got to create in the first 8 seconds of possession or be tough and get something in the last 8.
It's also interesting, Bob, we see the huddle here for the Jaguars. Paul Corsaro, he was saying that his Indy teams were very much ground and pound, not to spread the floor. Right. But his first year in D1, he's got his best stable of shooters, to his estimation, and they can let fly.
Well, they certainly, I think, understand when you go against a team coached by Stan Heath, Coach Heath's teams will defend you. And they know they're going to run into strong defense at the half court. And so when you have that you have to go against, you're trying to create some easy opportunities. Early offense, numerical advantages, taking the ball to the rack if you can individually. And so it's a great philosophy. To this point, they've executed it well. Coach Heath has a chance now to kind of remind his guys, hey, we're a team about playing hard on the defensive end. People have to sprint back on a change of possession and not allow such easy looks at the hoop.
It seems you see this all the time, but when teams are getting back on defense, where they just almost forget about the trailing three-pointer.
That's exactly right. And it's one of the reasons I'm no longer on that sideline and I'm here with you is that I got tired of having to remind people that all we need to do is tell somebody that there's a trailer there. So those kinds of things happen.
Apparently, there's a little liquid on the floor.
Well, a little bit. It may have been
going around.
It may have been accidentally knocked over in that timeout discussion.
You can see the cleanup crew. Word is that someone, their stomach was a little bit upset, and so the gloves are on, thank goodness, and they'll be cleaning that up when we get back to playing. Ever happened to you? You said the true story, Bob Lovell, first game ever in this venue as a basketball team?
I coached it. I did. I coached that game back in 1982. Embarrassingly, because of my advanced age, I can't tell you. I know we won the game, but I don't remember who it is we beat. I joined the university in 1982, and our first game, we played our first 3 games on the road, and our first game at home was quite a celebration for us because we were able to get a W. That's a long time ago. I mean, you can all do the math, but it's. I always felt like we had a great venue. It's not very big. I know people complain about it, but we did well in there. We won a whole lot of games, and we're able to do some pretty interesting things.
I think they like to describe that as an intimate setting.
I think that's right. And the problem with an intimate setting, when you have a guy like me who has a voice that projects, and everyone in the building can hear what you're screaming at the officials, and so they can clearly hear it too. So, while it might be an intimate effect, it does have its downside, quite frankly.
So the cleanup continues. Obviously, look at that little fella. He's got the stripe colors on of the IUPUI Jaguars.
He's IUPUI ready now. Look at him.
Yeah, you can get him. I think the camps don't begin for his age yet, but they'll begin soon enough.
Well, Coach Corsaro will definitely get him out to the camp. There's no question.
I thought this was it when you began at then IUPUI.
Right.
Relative young coach, Paul Corsaro takes over, 35, also young coach. What's that jump like?
I was 31. And I had been coaching. I'd been a head coach at Franklin College for 4 years prior to that. But at that age, you're 31. How were you at 31? You knew everything, didn't you?
I thought I did.
You had most of the answers, if not all. And I'm certain I did. I think the one thing you learn when you're at that age, you do have the answers. You know what you want to do offensively, defensively. You know all that stuff. And, I think it's more than anything, it's your relationships with your parents, relationships with your faculty members, your administrators. Those are things you spent so much time worrying about coaching, worrying about your career, thinking about winning games. Those are things that are incredibly important to what you're going to be able to do at that particular spot. I don't think I did that very well, quite frankly. Looking back, if I was going to change something, that would have been it. But the X and O part, you're ready to go.
So Stan Heath back at Eastern Michigan. He is an Eastern Michigan Eagle. He played his college ball there, and winding journey to end back up. He was coaching the Lakeview Magic in the G League before coming back to Eastern Michigan. Now, what I thought was interesting, he was an assistant coach at Michigan State in 2000 when they won the national championship. And the Eastern Michigan job came open, thought he was a shoo-in for it. They went a different direction, and then he thought, well, this door is going to be closed. Well, 20-some years later, it opens back up, and he's been there for a few years now.
He's a tremendous man and a tremendous coach. Kids love him. His kids play hard. Not coincidentally, he's had great success wherever he's been. Man of integrity, a man you can trust. And, you stop and think about it. Isn't that what you want out of a coach? I mean, he's a perfect example. And I think the thing I admire as a former coach, his kids respond. They play hard for him. That's not an easy thing to do. And for when you have your kids that buy into what you're trying to do, like these kids do, that's a reflection on the respect they have for Coach Heath.
So cleanup continues, but I think also to your point, there goes the trash bag. It looks like we're about ready to play.
We're going to have a ceremony,
round of applause
for the trash bag.
Yeah. We're about to see some guys put some hard work on the basketball floor. Well, that's just a game compared to what that guy just did.
Well, I could tell him how to get, there are some back doors he's not aware of to get out of there faster.
And underway we go. Terry, Jalen Terry, who's been outstanding for Eastern Michigan. He had 9 rebounds last time out against Siena Heights as a foul is called on Zielinskis.
Yeah, Zielinskis in a tough spot. you're being bodied up by Nelson, and you want to try to, hold your ground, not extend the forearm, but that's a tough matchup.
Zelenskis, native of Lithuania, played high school basketball in Illinois. Paul Corsaro says that the next phase for him is to be an elite defender, and that he has the capacity to do it. He can do it when he wants. He just needs to be able to do it consistently in a moving screen on Deshaun Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson never really, if you look at it, never really got set at all. I mean, there's been a lot of contact the previous play, and he stepped in, and it's a pretty good call.
Melender getting his first start of the season after coming off the bench for the first 3 games. Loses control, and a foul called on him.
Well, you get frustrated, you get the ball stripped from you, and Jalen Terry does a great job of bodying up. You see him right there, kind of picks his pocket a little bit. Great job defensively, and then you just see the frustration. You just got the ball stolen from you. So
now Indy was expecting this to come in, Bob, that Eastern Michigan, they're a physical team.
Right.
They're going to be tough defensively. Paul Corsaro said that this game is going to be a toughness game, not X's and O's.
Well, he's 100% right. Just like that. I mean, you got to be able to take care of the basketball and play through contact, maintain some things, and like this, find a body and get it on him and get a rebound.
Garner with a tough rebound inside. Zelenskis, the twirl, lost the ball, though. Coming up with it's Terry in the length of the floor with the reverse.
Tremendous move by Terry. Bumped going up, no whistle. Zelenskis got a little out of control. And you see again that pressure start to take a little toll on you on the defensive end.
Craig. They want to get it out on the wing to Zelenskis. 2 players pop out on him. Walker drives, picks it up. Zelenskis lets fly and misses from the top.
Another good defensive possession by Eastern Michigan. Really well done.
Indy had been 37th in the country in 3-point attempts, but it's going to be tougher sledding today as the foul down low on Godslove Nawabude, who is a native of Nigeria and plays so tough in practice that they have to tone him down some so he doesn't hurt anybody.
Right.
Here's Terry just up the other way.
Well, again, that's good, solid defense. Not sure Zelenskis knew what he was going to do with the ball, and Terry takes it end to end. Good, solid defense right here by Eastern Michigan. It's hard. I mean, think about it now, Jonathan. It's hard to score with a team putting that much pressure on the ball. It's great on-ball pressure by the entire team.
Godslove missed the first. That was his first. No, he's 0 for 3. I was going to say first free throw attempt of the year. That's not his 4th. He's looking for his first make and got it. Also into the game now is Arne Osojnik, who is a native of Slovenia and number 44 in green. He was on the all-freshman team in the MAC a year ago. Tremendous scorer, still trying to round into form. That's Jarvis Walker with the ball.
Well, you kind of need to have Walker back out there to steady everybody, as your point guard. You've been a little shaky handling the ball, getting into your offense, getting back there and direct the ship a little bit.
Good. Can't live up to his name right there, but down low, tries it, no good. Deshaun again, also no good. Craig mops it up and is fouled by Godslove.
Well, that's great board work, obviously, by IUPUI. Tremendous job by the Jags on the glass.
5-5 first half. Indy Eastern Michigan.
One great idea can change your life.
Friday, Shark Tank is all new.
That's the
Five players followed Paul Corsaro from the University of Indianapolis. Just a couple miles up the road to the new IU Indianapolis, newly named, formerly IUPUI. And it was really an extra one because Ron Rutland was originally committed to the University of Indianapolis, and then when Paul Corsaro took the job of the Jaguars, well, he came along too. So
this is a model that's been done more than once. Those of us in Indiana understand it. Indiana State did it a year ago with Josh Schertz when he left Lincoln in Tennessee, a Division II school. Brought a bunch of his guys with him. So there's familiarity with the coach, familiarity with style, leadership, understanding. It's incredibly important. And Coach Corsaro's been able, in his own way, to replicate that model to a certain extent.
75% at the line so far this year is Sean Craig. Knocks down the first. 75%. That sounds much bigger. He was 3 of 4 before that.
Yeah, but still, it's 75%. Come on.
Knocked them both down. So if you hear a noise in the background and you've been looking at your TV, like, what is that? There's a fire alarm going off in the building that the jungle finds itself in. So if you want to picture the jungle, then one of the howler monkeys up in the rafters is just screeching away.
Well, having, spent 12 years of my life in that building, there are doors. There are plenty of doors that I'm sure inadvertently got opened.
Terry, baseline J, not enough to catch iron. Taken away out by Billingsley, and then he threw it off the hands of a Jaguar. And Tamaris Brown is in a world of trouble right now, but draws the foul on Terry.
You want to play great defense on the ball, but you want to do it without fouling. You just fouled a guy who's 60 feet, 50 feet from the rim and can't possibly score. It's great hustle. Just need to execute it a little bit better. It's a good defensive possession for IUPUI. Really, really solid.
And that's what they've been trying to work on. That's one of the goals of the Jaguars.
And what you have to do now, string together more than one. You got one, stack another one, stack another one.
Walker, an interesting guy who's been recruited 3 separate times by Paul Casaro. Finds Zelinskis, who leaves it short. Good snags the rebound. Newly into the game, Nathan Dudukovic gives it up. And Zelinskis from the corner. Hooking around, nice drive, but missed. And a foul called.
It's a nice move to the rim by Zelinskis. And, give some credit now. Give a lot of credit to Good for getting so much energy on the rim. You see it right there. Nice job of taking it to the rim. Obviously fouled, not able to finish it up. But Good makes it happen by working as hard as he can. Deshaun Wood has been a force and factor keeping some balls alive.
And one rolls out for Zelinskis, foul on a Soynick. To put a little bow on the story I hinted to, Walker there, number 4, he was originally recruited by Corsaro when he was an assistant at Purdue Fort Wayne. He did go to Purdue Fort Wayne, then decided to transfer. Corsaro recruited him to University of Indianapolis, and then his grad student year decided to recruit him again to IU Indy. So 3 separate times, and if there's any better personification of modern basketball, I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's a great illustration, and it's also a great indication of how much respect each one has for one another.
Yeah, he said he's known him for 6 years, and they just have a great bond. Here's Henry. Lowers his shoulder, turns into Craig, and gets the roll.
That's a hard-earned hoop now, really.
Now, he's aggressive. He thinks he can score on anybody, and on that possession, he definitely was right. Brown, Zelinskis. Craig unfurls a 3 and knocks it down.
Well, good penetration. You draw the defense just enough for him to catch and shoot. That's good offense.
Craig has not been a great three-point shooter to begin this season, but that can change it around. Drive down the lane missed by Youssef Jihad. Craig thought about it. From the paint, thinks better, and Walker.
It's a good decision, really.
With the left, and was a whistle there. You see one of the Eastern Michigan players saying he was straight up, and our referee disagrees.
Nah, good possession. Good possession for a lot of reasons. And you'll see here you've got Walker on the hesitation. Lots of contact.
That was on Youssef Jihad, whose brother is having a pretty good season so far, playing for Arizona State, as Walker knocks down the first. His brother Bashir averaging 9 points, 6 rebounds for the Sun Devils. Youssef started once so far this year for Eastern Michigan, and Walker hits them both. 7 points for Walker. And
it's a great start, no question. He's been really assertive and aggressive with the ball.
It seems like since that under 16 timeout, Bob, IU Indy, their offense has been getting the better of that Eastern Michigan defense.
Well, you slow it down a little bit. I mean, that sounds counterintuitive, but you slow it down. Don't force.
Try to use
the other part, is just they've done a great job on the defensive glass, Jonathan, to get themselves some opportunities.
Walker attacks, had it stripped. Eastern Michigan pretty good at generating turnovers. Going to get a bucket inside. They do get a foul call on Craig.
Just great defensive effort by Eastern Michigan. You get the block, you get the forced shot, you get it in transition to take it to the rim. Again, we said it at the start. Both teams are they're gonna guard you. They're gonna be physical. If you're a cutter, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna get bodied up when you have the ball.
First one is down and out for John Sanu, the second, who is well-traveled, native of Houston. He's on his fourth college, though. Most recently with University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, now all the way up at Eastern Michigan. Missed them both. Rebound to Dukovic. Nathan has been shooting the ball very well this season. Well over 40% in the jungle. Brown, who started the first 3 games for IU Indy, behind to Dukovic, who adjusts to it, misses inside. Brown follows with the left.
Just a great move by Dukovic to go to the rim. Maybe an ill-advised move in the trees, but be there, be around the ball, and that's exactly what happens.
Timeout taken by Eastern Michigan, and we're going to take a breather here as Eastern Michigan trying to solve this IU Indy offense.
You're looking at a work of art. No, it's not the Mona Lisa, but this beautiful can costs a lot less and looks magnificent in your bathroom. And Mona Lisa can't give you a smooth, close shave. Barbasol, it's a can of can-do.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Now get financing as low as 5.74% APR on a new or used vehicle. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Odds are you'll never need an open craniotomy from our highly skilled neurosurgeons or treatment for medullary thyroid cancer. Odds are your child will never need a heart transplant. And you might never need screening for genetically inherited high cholesterol. But if you do, trust the healthcare system 9 out of 10 Indiana doctors have chosen for their patients' care. Indiana University Health, no matter the odds.
Your morning shave is a time for self-reflection. Look in that mirror and ask yourself, can I make a real difference in this world? Of course you can. Just not today. There's football on. Barbasol, it's a can of can-do.
Live and play in the largest, most vibrant cities in the country, allowing our student athletes exposure to unique experiences only available in major cities, such as Indianapolis. To learn more about all our major cities, visit horizonleague.com/brand recharge. They're not all in Indianapolis, they're all over the place. Pittsburgh area, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
Big cities.
Fire alarm
great
still rocking.
Urban institutions in great cities, quite frankly.
From the top of the key, God's love Navabuti hands it off to Soynick. Now Nelson working on Walker. Soynick steps into a deep one and knocks it down.
That's a great shot, great look. You get a closeout much quicker. High hands, get a hand in his face, but that's well executed.
That's what Stan Heath wants out of him, too. Being able to add that extra dimension on offense. And that was tipped.
I mean, you see on the three how much space, it doesn't take much space. How much space is there? Slow on the closeout. Great technique, just a little bit behind.
I think those are the attentions to details that Paul Corsaro was talking about.
I visited a practice about 3 weeks ago, and just exactly what you're talking about. The attention to detail, specifically on the closeout, was the emphasis of that particular day.
That ball out of bounds. They said no harm, no foul. IU Indy will inbound it. Walker, this could be tricky now. Eastern backs away and lets him get across.
Well, Eastern, when they get a dead ball throwing, they try to pick you up.
Good job inside. Garner had arms around him as he went through those pine trees. Dudukovic missed it. Rebound, Nawabuti.
Body's on the floor, and you're positioned where Dudukovic is, just not able to get it.
He's had a couple looks, that contested one inside, that open three, yet to knock either down. A Soynick, that was pretty.
Feeling it now. That's, one bounce and a shot. That's a big basket. Bumps up a little bit of, knocks off some of the lead a little bit. That's nicely done.
They had a clock issue being attended to. Oh, delay a game warning against Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, you got to leave the ball alone.
Soynick, he's really heated up, though. Last minute and a half, 5 points. Here's Craig. Kind of the model of what Paul Corsaro wants out of a Jaguar. Sets up Brown, and it hit the little stanchion at the top of the basket. And it'll be Eastern Michigan's ball. 3-point lead for the Jags. And we've had a little bit of everything in this game so far. Beyond the basketball, we had someone puke on the floor. That's exciting.
That's a first for me.
Fire alarm going off.
Yeah, right. And we're not even to the half.
Not even close to the half. We haven't got halfway into the first half yet.
Well, one can only hope that things will even out and will settle in and continue to play great basketball.
Out goes Che Pettigrew, another Chicago guy. Began his collegiate journey at Nevada. There's Deshaun Good, one of the freshmen on the team and one of the rare freshmen not from the Indianapolis area or the Indiana area. He's from West Virginia originally. Terry, a three, could not knock it down. Battling inside, though, is Nelson for his 4th point.
Yeah, and Coach is quick to call the timeout because nobody gets a body on the rebounder.
Eastern Michigan on a run.
Yeah, they really are.
They're on a 7-0 run over the last almost 2 minutes. Here's another look at the work inside by Nelson.
You see why Coach is so upset. You're right here. Comes into your screen, right? Not a soul. There's a body on him. Not one person. And, the other thing now, it's just a continuation. Eastern Michigan is ramping up their pressure. They're doing a better job of that. They're doing a great job on the offensive glass. And this is a much needed and a well-taken timeout.
It does seem like this first half so far is being played more, at least more lately. It's been being played at Eastern Michigan's pace.
I think so. I think IU Indy would prefer to play with a quicker pace if they can, but they're very, very capable of playing whatever pace is being played.
Yeah, IU Indy so far this year, they've liked to open it up to shoot, but they've mostly played teams not in Division I. They played Xavier earlier. There's a nice drive inside by Garner.
Garner does a big-time move, a much-needed basket. One of those plays where we needed that, and it's great that you stepped up and did it.
Yeah, that really stops the bleeding, that's for sure. There's Nelson. Hooked it inside. Picked up off the ground by Billingsley. He was coming off a career day. Rebound, though, wiped away by Deshaun Good. Careful there.
Close, but room.
3-ball corner pocket knocked down by Dudukovic.
Dudukovic with his feet set, it's a pretty good shooter. You just got to get him like that.
46% at home so far this year. Small sample size, but great nevertheless.
Well, you love how the Jags have come out of the timeout and responded.
Billingsley gets an answer himself.
As I say that, Mr. Billingsley, I see your three and raise you three.
Yeah, he was 2 of 9 on the season before draining that one.
Hey, I told you, I said he's a hard matchup now. He can play around the rim.
Tough defense, too. First on the floor, Terry, can he run it down? Keeps it in bounds, and there is Nelson through the contact, and Soynick follows it up.
But we had bodies everywhere on that possession. And officials are letting him play, which is fine. They're consistent with it. It just underscores what we said at the start. This would be a game that you had to be tough.
There's the whistle off the ball. And it's on Henry, who seems slightly perplexed. But, yeah, this is the matchup that Eastern Michigan, they like to play physical. Yeah. They like to be black and blue.
Right.
And in IU Indy, Paul Corsaro said, I want to see us get tested.
Right. Well, it's a great test. It's what you're looking for, to be honest, in your non-conference schedule. Games like this, teams like this, that are going to test you in ways you might not have been tested to this point.
Jarvis Walker. Tamaris Brown wanted to go inside to good. Walker finds some space for Craig. Soynick hangs on tight. Brown down the lane, contorting and missing, and was fouled.
Yeah, he got bumped going up. I was wondering if they were going to call the foul. A little delay. But clearly, you'll see him taking it to the rim, and the principle of verticality, you just see him lean in. Yeah, then it's a good call. Easy call, frankly.
That should also. That puts IU Indy in the bonus now for the remainder of the half. And Brown knocks it down. Tamaris Brown was a guy that was second-team All-GLVC at Rockhurst. He had the 9th most points in the GLVC last season. And Paul Corsaro really liked his game, respected him as a player, as Rockhurst was an opponent of the University of Indianapolis. And he feels like they haven't seen the best of Tamaris Brown yet, but maybe he's getting going. He's got 4 points tonight.
Well, I think Paul likes his toughness, likes his versatility.
He likens him to Charles Barkley, which not a bad comparison to be compared with.
I'd take that.
Terry. Floating, popping, making a three.
How about this? I mean, you got the ball, backs it up on a couple of dribbles, and still a little fadeaway three. I'm not sure how you guard it, to be honest.
I like that too. When he was backing up, that wasn't the NBA extra step. He was balanced the whole time.
He was sizing it up now.
Walker creates some space for Brown. Goes down the lane again through the contact. It's bobbled around, and Eastern Michigan outrunning. Nelson, don't want to give him any space as the blocking foul is called on Brown.
That's a tough one right there. Tough one. We'll come back and talk about it a little bit, but that's tough.
Jalen Terry, we highlighted this. The step back, the shot, perfect. Eastern Michigan soaring now. The last time IU Indy was 3-1 to begin a season, Bob, was 15 years ago in 2009, and that's what could happen tonight if IU Indy is able to defeat Eastern Michigan. They have not trailed yet, but there have been 3 ties, and Eastern Michigan, they're showing their talents a little bit.
Well, I mean, this game's getting physical, getting more physical. And we talked about it at the start. You got to be tough to play this game. You know, the team that out-toughs the other one's probably going to win it.
Oh, that'll help too.
Yikes.
First lead of the game for Eastern Michigan as Christian Henry knocks one down from the corner.
And with nothing but the bottom. I mean, what a great shot.
How does IU Indy answer? A 3. No good from good. And the Eagles now with pace and with a double dribble or a travel.
Just one of those unforced errors. Jags right now have to, focus on what you're doing defensively. You'll get yourself going back the right way if you get some things going defensively. Take away some of the easier looks. Get on the glass. Your offense will come.
Walker missed it a little long. Could try to get down in there, but there's a hold called. I believe it's on Henry. He's saying a jump ball.
Well, you know what? He's going to knock down threes and help out the officials a little bit. What a spirited young guy. Tremendous energy.
I think they called a foul on IU. Well, in fairness, I didn't see one on Eastern Michigan, so I was a little confused. But now they move it around because IU Indy's in the bonus after they called a foul on Craig.
Right.
That's going to send Henry to the line where he struggled on the season. Does not hear. He was 43% on the season entering tonight.
It's kind of surprising because he seems like a tough-minded kid who will make some things happen.
Well, also, if you want to be tough-minded, then you definitely should be knocking down those free throws because you're going to be going there quite a bit.
Yeah, because they made a mistake in fouling you, you're going to make them pay for that mistake.
IU Indy able to break that trap with Deshaun Good, one of the freshmen on the team. Here's Walker, one of the many transfers. Both these teams heavy in the transfer portal, as is almost everybody nowadays. And there's another one, Paul Zelinskis with his 3rd point.
Zelinskis comes up with a big play, big basket.
Oh, Terry's wide open, Bob.
Well, dodged a bullet, got away with a walk. Dodged a bullet, nobody talking, and then give it back with a giveaway.
A miscommunication there. Gardner trying the pretty pass to Dukovic, might not have seen it.
See, these are the things that, that frustrate you as a coach, is that you got to, you're your own worst enemy at certain times. You got an advantage that you don't take advantage of. And, it's hard to score. So when you got an advantage, you need to be able to knock down shots.
IU Indy has done a really good job protecting the ball so far this season. That shot was altered and doinked off the head of Zelinskis, recovered by Henry. Here's a Soynick, graceful off the glass.
Henry did a great job, made a great decision not to try to speed up. Gave some, caught it, took a look, finds a cutting teammate.
And so Jessica was trying to make a point about IU Indy has been good about protecting the ball. Well, they're struggling here tonight against this stingier defense. Well, they were 25th nationally in turnovers. Missed by Zelinskis. Nice rebound, Terry. A moonwalk and a glide.
The Euro for 2, nicely done. Again, long rebound off a missed shot. And you're going to think at halftime, you're going to look at a stat sheet and say, this thing has been turned because of Eastern Michigan's dominance on the glass at both ends.
This segment of the first half has been completely dominated by Eastern Michigan as the Jaguars head spinning, trying to find some steady ground. Is it Walker's three? That was, ooh, he's going to the line. He was fouled, Bob.
Well, it's a bad foul, quite frankly. You always, one of my pet peeves as a coach, as a broadcaster, don't foul a jump shooter. Number one, it's bad technique. You run through the defense. You foul a jump shooter, that's a cardinal rule, frankly. You know, get a hand up, keep your body down like you've been taught, and then take your chances.
I think sometimes you just don't even want to put yourself in the position where a foul could be assumed, as
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
was missed.
No, you don't want to let and now they got Henry with a tech.
Oh, there might have been, it's either Henry or it looks like Deshaun Nelson's most fired up.
Maybe it was.
That is, so that's his third personal, and he's still angry about it. Didn't stop jawing.
Well, some conversation at the free throw line along the lane.
So Jarvis Walker is going to have to start paying rent from this strike because he's going to take the technical free throw too.
And the one thing you don't want to do, and I'm sure Coach will remind him, look, play's over. You know, don't put him back at the free throw line without earning it.
And Walker, he might have missed that first free throw, but on the year, he's only missed 2. He goes to the line quite a bit. He's a 90+% free throw shooter. And he's got bonus free throws, hits them both. And he's got 2 more coming. So don't adjust your picture.
They'll administer this will be the administration of the technical foul.
So he's got 2 more.
Well, they administered the tech on the previous 2. Now we're back to live action. I've got it mixed up.
So he missed the first free throw. Then they called a technical foul on Deshaun Nelson.
Right.
He was still mad about the foul call. That apparently let Walker settle in, and he knocked down the last 3.
Yeah, he settled in, no question. So now you got a 4-point advantage where it could have been. He didn't have to be that way.
He had a full night of free throws in 3 minutes.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Terry and Eastern Michigan trying to snap that momentum back, which they had firmly in their corner. Off the drive. That's Julian Lewis back into the game. The 3 is missed, though, and an offensive foul on God's love Noah Bude.
Well, now, if you're Eastern Michigan, you just got to play through your frustration. Your frustration on fouls, those kinds of things. Look, you're in a great spot. You're up 3. Just focus, stay tough, just single-mindedness in terms of how we're approaching this.
And now double bonus time for IU Indy.
The other thing, you're in double bonus. So these are fouls that come not at great times. And you still have 4.5 left in the first half.
3 points for Gardner, who got to live the Indiana native, the native Hoosier dream last year, taking his team, Fishers, to the state championship, playing great in it.
Yeah, I did. Great. That's a great point. Living the dream. When you're a kid in our state, I'm going to sound like a crazy Hoosier, but yeah, the goal is to win the state championship. And he played on a tremendous Fishers team that played extremely well in the championship game.
He averaged there in the playoffs about 12 points as he misses. 12 points, over 8 rebounds, and then a foul on Eastern Michigan, a lane violation, I believe.
Lane violation now.
So he's going right back to the line.
So you got a technical foul, lane violation. You think things that you can't use, these are controllable. As a coach, you're telling your kids, control the controllables. You got to control yourself before you can control somebody else.
And knocked in by Gardner.
Just gave another point, see? You just gave them back another point because you weren't disciplined enough to not step in the lane.
They had Eastern Michigan had a 7-point lead and all the momentum And there's a foul attacking the basket on Brown, but they had a 7-point lead, all the momentum, and then just a couple mental miscues,
Right.
Bob. It's a 1-point game.
That's all you need. And Brown, look, this is a big time play right here. Okay, little guy, but the key to this whole play is the fact that his team is not playing well. They're not doing very well at all. And what does he do? Takes it upon himself. I mean, Jalen Terry does a fantastic job of just taking the ball to the rim.
Visiting with Stan Heath, asked about Jalen Terry, and one thing he highlighted about just his intangibles is he's the second leading rebounder on the team, and he's the shortest guy on the floor.
Yeah, he plays with a big heart. And again, his team's struggling. He was going to take it upon himself to get something going on the offensive end.
Now he's a native Michigander, as that one is good. 9-point first half for Jalen Terry. Began his collegiate journey at Oregon, then went to Chicago and played at DePaul, and then found himself back into the Mitten State, playing for Eastern Michigan. The native of Flint is playing well here in Indianapolis. Walker on the attack, through the trees. Terry rips down the rebound. Lob up ahead. Henry finds Terry. Pow!
Tell you what a big stretch for Jalen Terry. Fantastic job for a teammate finding him too in transition. Jags again a little behind on transition and finding shooters.
This whole sequence just embodies Jalen Terry as Dudukovic hits a three in the corner.
Big basket by Dudukovic. Big basket.
The sophomore planted his feet and knocked it down, and the margin's back to 3.
Jags were struggling offensively, and it's what Dudukovic does so well is the spotted shooters, standing shooters, really good at it.
Here's Terry. Now Henry, defended by Dudukovic, step back 3, rattles it in. Christian Henry. He's got 10 points in the contest now, and we have a 3-point barrage between these two teams.
Well, I mean, Terry and Henry, these guys have been strong all game.
Zielinskis, who has yet to get going offensively, finds Dudukovic, who is fouled, taking a 3. Youssef Jihad stepped into him and commits the foul. Dudukovic will be taking 3 free throws after this. Henry hit the 3 the new-fashioned way, and Eastern looking good.
We're Citizens Energy Group, and we're here for you. We're your local utility provider and your neighbors. We take care of our customers while connecting to what matters. We are committed to providing safe, reliable services and making our community a better place to live. At Citizens Energy Group, we're all citizens.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Y'all gon' ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. And together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Y'all gon' ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. And together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Y'all gon' ride forever.
Entering tonight, you would not have expected Eastern Michigan to be a good three-point shooting team. They're 317th in the country in three-point shooting, but there's a made one. And here's a pretty made one. And here comes another one by Henry. Eastern Michigan, who is entering tonight shooting 26% from three. They're 6 of 10, Bob, from distance.
In most of these shots, if you look at them, are, I think, because of your technique in closing out. You always tell kids to have your hands high or high hands, and you just saw sometimes they weren't able to do that. A little bit behind, not as quick as you needed to, and so something that is disappointing because you work on it every single day. And yeah, it's an Eastern Michigan team that's emboldened right now. They're confident. I mean, they're knocking down shots. They're fearless. I mean, that's how they're playing. They're a tough-minded group of guys, and tonight they're showing it on the offensive end as well as on the defensive end.
Nathan Dudukovic at the free throw line was coincidentally with the package we just showed. He was fouled taking a three, so he's got 3 of these. And he's got 8 points right now. Everything he's made so far is a three-pointer, and if he makes this one, then there's another one, multiple 3.
Yeah, the one thing about him is, he's,
nope.
We mentioned fearless. He clearly is that. And green light, if he's got his feet set, long rebound goes the way of Eastern Michigan.
4-point lead for Eastern Michigan here, getting later in the first half. Jalen Terry, what a first half by him. He's got 12 points. He's looked really good on both ends of the floor. Henry's had a strong first half with 10. Billingsley, who set the world on fire against Siena Heights 6 days ago, hasn't been as much a factor, but he's made a 3. And Henry rattles out his attempt inside. Shanu gets fouled and made the bucket.
Well, again, 2 things have happened here tonight for the Eastern Michigan kids. They've done a great job on the glass, and they've been fearless in shooting the basketball. Once again, you're late to get a body. That's just good hustle, too. I mean, that's give credit where credit's due. But that's disappointing.
First foul into Sean Good. And Shanu rattles in the free throw.
Shanu's giving him quality minutes. I mean, he's done a great job on both ends, quite frankly.
I think gives him good size, too. 6'11" off the bench.
Yeah. A kid who's, active, rim protector. He'll get on the glass.
Walker and IU Indy, they lack for size, but they do make up for it in floor spacing as Zielinskis not able to knock down the 3 from the corner pocket. Billingsley, left alone for a moment, backs it down and misses. But a rebound, Shanu again.
Again, just replay the tape. I don't have to talk about it.
Replay the tape and the audio from 10 seconds ago, and you got it.
That's it, right there.
Now Craig, Eastern Michigan feeling it a little bit now. Biggest lead of the game for the Eagles. Brown looking inside. Zielinskis was running to the corner, didn't see him. Craig from the top. No. Contested rebound is staying with the Jaguars.
Well, I mean, good luck from 3. Just didn't go. And Jags a little more patient on that offensive possession.
A downtown pass there to Craig. Looked like they'd be playing across the lot over in Lucas Oil Stadium. 3-ball corner pocket. A little long by Brown. Taken away by Terry. Eyes up the floor to Henry. 30 on 30. Inside foul called on Tamarius Brown, his third.
You talk about a kid who's not afraid to back down from anybody. It's Henry. He's great. He's out on the wing. Gets the ball, headed straight to the rim, and not afraid of the contact. Knows he's going to get it up on the glass.
As Stan Heath said that he will battle you on both ends of the floor.
Absolutely.
And boy, was he right. Henry tonight, 2 for 2 at the free throw line. As a team, shooting just over 66% from the charity stripe. That one missed. Which doesn't sound great when you've made 2/3 of the free throws, but that's an improvement. Eastern Michigan entered today,
right?
Almost dead last in the country in free throw shooting.
That's a point of concern without question, but number one, you got to make sure you get to the line. Number two, the idea is to convert. And so it's a long season. You can, continue to get better and better at it.
And they're 7 of 11, which is a step in the right direction. Down low, Gardner fouled, not letting him land with Johnson, the second.
It's an important possession, quite frankly. I mean, that's a great pass to the post. One of the things the Jags haven't done tonight, they've settled for some jump shots and haven't taken it back inside either on the pass or on the dribble. And so I love how you just, you come back, you get an entry pass from the top of the key, and go inside out.
Garner, relatively, I was going to say limited minutes. That might not be true. But he hasn't been as productive scoring-wise yet tonight, although he's creeping up. But he has been on the glass. 4 rebounds, battling amongst a lot bigger players inside.
He gives you a presence inside, which is important. A little press on the inbound by the Jags.
And all calms here. You can see the difference between the game and shot clock. So Eastern won't be able to run it out, but they are going to be able to get a good look, you'd think. 3 on the way. That looked like it was tipped. And it'll be a shot clock violation. And so IU Indy can get the last shot here, down 8.
Well, the one thing you're trying to do, you've got you have plenty of time. So, you practice a lot on late shot clock possession situations just like this.
Zelenskis, the clock running. Zelenskis looking to take it the whole way and delivers.
Or you could just let Zelenskis have the ball as another option.
Henry gets a peek at it, wanted the foul call. It won't be granted.
I don't blame him. I'd want it too.
Eastern will have the lead, though they wanted the foul. Back and forth in the first half, and then Eastern began to take control, and they're going to get the ball first. Deshaun Nelson had that emphatic dunk. Also got a technical, and that kind of personified a little bit of a lull for Eastern midway into the first half. Here's Henry thinking about a 3, thought about the 2. Oh, there's Terry. Don't want to leave him open. Bang, got another one.
It didn't stop. I mean, it didn't take him long. Picking up, obviously, where he left off in the first half. And, again, you got to keep your position. You can't fly out of the defense because you take away that hand in his face. And if you give him any space, he's going to make it.
Here's Alec Melender, who started the game but didn't see too much of him as it went on. Garner taking him into the workshop and has the rebound ripped away by Jalen Terry. Stolen. Walker lost the handle.
Yikes. Poor kid. Great job to get the steal, and then you kind of give it back. Great effort on the part of Walker.
Golfing, my dad has a saying on some shots that might not be the most accurate. Say it sounded good. And that seemed like that possession by Walker. It sounded good. Yeah. Didn't finish good, but
you feel badly because, he hustles back, gets the steal right where he needs to be, and then the ball just leaves his hands.
Here's Henry. Nelson, who did not play in the Siena Heights game, was a little banged up, but got the start tonight, draws a foul on Walker. First of the half.
Well, a little hand-to-hand combat, if you will, on this dribble. A little bump here, bump back. Too much bumping, so to speak. It's a pretty easy call.
Billingsley, who's been largely in check. He's worked on adding bulk to his frame to be more physical, to be able to battle inside. He creates some space for Henry, who throws it away. Garner off the interception, takes it the whole length of the floor where he's blocked by Billingsley. Now Terry in transition, stepping on through, making it look easy. He's got that step down.
What a tremendous move. You just love him in the open court. And, again, disappointing. Your defense got you a steal, and you're not able to convert.
Bulleted into the corner. Craig can't cash in the 3. Oh, Jalen Terry just playing with all the confidence in the world right now.
No, he really is. And clearly, you know, it's a kid who just thrives on this type of situation.
Soynick misses the three. Craig gets another rebound. He's been the leading rebounder for IU Indy. Right now, tied with the team high of 5. Looks for 3 and cannot make it.
Jags have not shot it well from 3. I mean, let's be frank. They just have not. They've had good looks. Just like that is a really good look that just didn't go.
They were 4 of 14 in the first half. They're 0 for 2 to begin the second. Eastern Michigan was looking inside. Soynick created some space, knocked down the J. He's got 11.
Nice little move off the dribble. The catch, the quick dribble, get some separation for a nice look.
Paul Casero is not in a pleasant mood right now, and Keenan Gardner he's getting coached.
Well, it's a good timeout to take because your guys, you know, coming out of the locker room haven't responded like you think they need to.
And we'll take a breather too. We need our own coaching from Casero and crew.